From 13 WREX, this is 13 Cares.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Jeannie Hayes. I'm so excited for this show. We have Who Haven with us today. Who Haven, for anyone who's not familiar, takes in wildlife, helps rescue them, rehabilitate them, and if possible, releases them back into the wild. And we have Karen here, who's kind of the mastermind behind Who Haven. You've been doing this for a very long time.
28 plus years.
Yeah. Now, you brought some animals with you, and we'll get to them in a moment. You really, really tiny animals. It's amazing. First, let's talk about some of the things that you guys are working on right now.
Well, we're really excited too. We took in our youngest bald eagle ever. Came down by Fort Byron. It actually came in at about 14 weeks old.
Oh my gosh.
Yep. And we're going to have it until May. Just because of the circumstances. Then it's going to go back to Fort Byron, and they want it released back there. But we're really excited. So there's always something new and exciting going on.
Well, what I love about Who Haven, for anyone who's been out there, you know that you get to see these wild animals up close that you would never get to even get close to out in the actual wild. And so people can actually, what do they call up to visit, or do you have certain hours where they just stop by, or how does that work?
For the most part, because we go out and do programs, we ask that you call up and set it up to make sure that someone's there. But you're right, we have photography clubs come for that very reason.
Photography club.
Yep.
That's brilliant. Even if you're not in a club, that would be such a cool place to just come and take pictures for the afternoon.
You normally cannot get a hawk to sit for about 15 or 20 minutes out in the wild. So they're like, can you perch them? Can you put them some? We can do that. And then everybody does their little thing and ends up with a picture of something.
I wouldn't have thought of that for photography, but that's brilliant. I came out there a couple years ago with Cindy Callbaum, our old meteorologist, and our reporter, Rebecca Cluff. We had such a fun time, and we came away with a ton of pictures.
Yes.
What are some of the different animals people can see if they come out to visit Who Haven?
Well, right now we have 3 bald eagles. We have our brand new educational bird, Marshmallow.
Okay.
She is the only educational pelican within hundreds of miles. And she's out there and is really quite the ham and does everything. We've got squirrels, foxes. We're the only one with a deer license in quite a long ways. So right now we have 6 fawns that we're trying to get, up so that they can be released. And they will be released in the later fall area. And the usual, we have hawks and owls. And right now we have 3 different kinds of falcons, which is kind of unusual. That's not something we normally have. And then we have our usual standbys of possums and squirrels and things like that. And then, like you said later on, we took in our very youngest flying squirrels ever. So, I mean, and you never know what's going to come in the door. Right now, we have all 7 incubators running with all the animals that are coming in.
Okay, speaking of incubators, you have some heating devices in these crates, at least one of them, because of some of the animals. I don't know if we want to show them right now, or we want to.
You tell me.
Okay, let's get them out. Is the yellow one the one with the squirrels?
I believe it is.
Okay,
yes.
Why don't we start with the bigger squirrel, and then we'll show the really tiny ones, because you guys are not going to believe how little these babies are. So this is the big one, believe it or not.
This is a big one that is about 3 weeks old. And just so everybody knows, we do this because they don't self-regulate their temperature all that well.
Okay, so that's why they have to constantly be really
held and warm and that type of thing. He got fed just before we came on board. And
you feed them with a tiny little dropper.
We do. And it's a special formula. If no one left this program with anything else, never, ever, ever give any animal cow's milk. They have no enzymes in order to be able to digest it. Oh, and isn't everybody getting a quick, have the camera? This eye is closed and this eye is opening up.
I saw that. Is that the first time his eyes is open?
It's the first, yes.
Well, man, he has great timing.
So,
oh, look at that.
And then everybody hears about mothers licking them and that type of thing. And the fact of the matter is, we take a warm wash rag every time we feed, and you stimulate the blood vessels coming, you stimulate them being able to go to the bathroom. You want to get their appetite going good so that they'll eat and get nice and fat and chunky.
Yeah, it reminds me of in 101 Dalmatians, if you've seen that movie, when the Dalmatians are born and the one puppy, they don't think it made it, and they start rubbing him, and then he starts squeaking.
That's
it's just like that.
right.
They just need that rubbing and constant little. I can't believe his eyes opened for the first time in my hand.
Isn't that cool?
That is so cool. So does this one have a name?
No, you know, I'm sure some of the volunteers have named him. I just kiss him up and love him up and try not to get too attached, since in fact they, you know, because no matter, well, I guess if there was something wrong, but the goal is to get him back out into the wild.
Now, I don't know if you guys can see this. I just got a good look at his eye. Now, they just opened for the first time. They're glassy and kind of bluish with no pupils. I don't know where you're going there, buddy.
Right.
And so does he actually develop pupils a little bit later?
It'll all clear up because it just now occurred.
There you can see it right there.
Isn't that cool?
Wow, that's so amazing.
And he goes, "You're warm, and you could be my mom."
I could be your mom.
That's right.
Oh, I just want to cuddle him because I feel like he's too squirmy. Is this better if I just hold him right here?
No, and that is fine. And that's the other thing. You know, I tell people, all babies, you know, whether it's human babies or animal babies, they all need to be spoiled and loved on for that failure to thrive. And so feeding them isn't good enough. You have to love them up, and then when they're old enough and they come out of the incubators and they go to the next pen and the next pen, then you start tapering your handling time. And honestly, by the time we let them go, they like to nibble and bite.
Well, that's what I was going to ask, is how do you go from pampering them? I mean, no squirrel in the wild would ever do this. How do you go from pampering him to releasing him in the wild and knowing that he's not going to go up to people who might hurt him?
And that's exactly right. So part of it is you have to always be in tune to them, okay? And when they hit a certain pen area, then everyone is told, no more touching, no more handling, you feed, you clean. And honestly, it only takes about 10, 12 days if they get, you know, nope. And the other thing is, you try never to have a squirrel alone. You try never to have any animal alone.
So they socialize each other.
Oh, they do. And all rehabbers, I might call Chicago and go, "Do you have a squirrel? Because if you don't have one, I'll give you mine."
Oh,
you
so
know,
they can kind of cuddle.
Oh, you never want to have one alone. Now, sometimes it happens. And you have to be extra careful. But when it's kind of like kids and teenagers, when those hormones kick in, it's like, "Adios, Mom, I can drive the car, I can climb that tree."
I'm driving, I'm done. Well, now that his eyes open, he got immediately more exploring. He did. Crawling around. That's so amazing. So does this mean I can adopt you now? Does that make me his mom? Can I take him home?
You can't take him home, but people actually can adopt. We've lately, this past year, I've been excited about the little kids, and when I say little, like 7, 8, 9, 10, I've had moms calling up going, "Our little girl, you came to her school, or she heard about you. For her birthday, she would like to adopt an animal, bring all of her monetary gifts out to you, and then see it." So that's warmed my heart that the little kids do that.
So that's what a kid can do, maybe save up that lemonade stand money and donate it, and then a certain animal becomes kind of, now you still keep the animal, but that's kind of their animal that you guys are keeping. Now, can I ask you this, can he see immediately?
No.
Well, he's suddenly like super active.
And he's sniffing a lot, and probably with these lights, he can see a lot of light.
Okay.
So that's exciting him, and probably a little overstimulation too.
Very exciting.
Isn't that cool?
Oh my gosh. So you were talking about snuggling up. Where are you going, dude? Seriously, he won't even stand his little towel. You were talking about snuggling up, and this guy has been keeping some even smaller ones warm. Now we have to take a commercial break. You're not going to believe how tiny these little babies are that are in there. You almost can't see them. So we'll take a quick break and we'll show you those right after this.